Welcome everybody after a successful session of creation of the database and how we can drop the database from your SQL Server databases. Today we are going to explore how we can create a table or set of tables in the existing databases. For this purpose, without wasting the time, let's launch our SQL Server Management Studio. This is the SQL Server Management Studio. We are using 19. Click on SQL Server Management Studio. It will start load. SQL Server Management Studio splash screen is appearing. It is loading in the background. For the time being, we are going to discuss how we will go through the entire session. Okay, the SQL Server Management Studio is loaded successfully. A pop-up dialog window that is used for the connection of SQL Server to the particular databases is appearing here. We can see here there is a connect button that is used to connect the SQL Server SSMS to the SQL Server databases. Click on the connect button. Thus, it is using to connect the SQL Server with the SQL Server Management Studio. Just zoom in. Click on the databases. These are all the perspective about the interfaces of the SQL Server Management Studio, and SQL Server installation of the SQL Server is already discussed in the previous sessions. You can explore by go through the playlist of SQL Server on our channel. Okay. For the time being, we are required here we have two databases that are already created in the previous sessions, test and new db2. Today I will try to create a new database using query editor so that we can explore the new concepts and go through using this database in the upcoming next sessions. Okay, just press Ctrl press N. The new query editor will be appeared and the entire pop-up or toolbar will be enabled. So let's start by creating a new database. I am creating a new database with the name of create database. Let's suppose we named it as hospital management system, HMS. Just press the semicolon. All the other complexities or concepts of create database are discussed in the previous session. Just press the F5 button. This will execute the query terminated by the successfully. This is called the command. Our command is executed successfully. It means the database is created here. We can refresh this object explorer to view the database. If we've lost any connectivity for any particular reason, we can connect it later. Click on the databases. It will list the entire databases. We can observe here or see here the HMS database is created here. We can use this database for the further operations such as creating the tables. Table creation process basically involve two major things. First one is the determination of the fields that are called columns or object of the ER model. Which objects which attributes of ER model will be included in the database. So there are two types. There are two methods of creating tables in the SQL Server using SSMS. First one, we can create it using the Object Explorer. This is not the recommended method to use the Object Explorer method. This is the early age or early classes our training sessions to how to create the GUI for creation of the table. Today we will explore how we can create table using the create table command, because in real world scenario when we are handling with the much more complex databases such as Oracle databases or other SQL Server databases on the online servers, we are required to execute the certain type of commands for the creation and drop or alteration of the tables as well as databases on the servers. So that we will use create table command for the creation of the database. We will discuss it in detail. Let's suppose we provide its name as doctors, because we are going to create a database that is hospital management system. In future we will also alter these tables or database attributes according to our requirement. We will consider a fundamental wireframe or ER model for consideration over the database model. At the end of these series, we will able to understand how we can create a database from ER model or from real world modeling. Create table doctors. We will have to provide the list of attributes here after the small parenthesis, opening small parenthesis. The first one attribute is commonly known as the ID attribute. We can simply say that the ID or patient ID, sorry for that, doctor ID. Here will be the doctor ID and its data type. After that we will have to provide its data type. We say that it is int, and this one is the primary key, and other attribute we can also assign, this is the identity. With the identity we can also provide the two parameters, starting of the identity and the increment of the identity. For the time being I am eliminating or ignoring these attributes. Okay, here we will have to provide the second attribute. We say that the first name, let's suppose we say that first name will be the varchar. We have to provide the length of the varchar. We say that this is the 30. We similarly say that the second name, varchar, this is the 30, and at the last we say that the age, so that overwork will be the shortened. We say that this is the int and terminated by the semicolon. This is the basically, what is this? This is basically a table structure. We have to elaborate this table structure. What are the incorporating things or parameters in this creation of the entire table? This is the complete command that will create a table. But where this table will be created? Two important things we have to consider in the creation of the table while using SSMS, where these tables will be created. We can observe here there is the list of drop down items where the databases are listed. In previous session we have discussed that the databases that are currently created in the SQL Server are listed here. Now the important point is that whenever we will use the query editor for the creation of table or alteration of the other objects of database objects, these queries will be run for the particular table that is selected here. If we want to change this table, the one thing is that method is that we will have to select here from the drop down the other tables that are available in the database, or we can also provide use, let's suppose we have hospital management system HMS. This query statement will change this value whenever this will execute. In short, this query will only execute to that table that is specified or selected here. One thing, if we want to change this table, we can use statement for the database. Okay, the other thing is that we are for the time being is removing. Other thing, we can also provide the database name directly here, hms.dbo.table name. We can also provide the database name here directly with the database object. This is the schema objects, this is the table name. Okay, now I would like to clear the entire query structure and modeling of this query. The first two words are the keywords that are used for the creation of the table. The parameter to the creation of the table is the table name provided by the database name and schema name, and the parameters of the identifiers or fields start with the opening parenthesis. Each and every parameter have two sorry for that, have two values. First one is its identifier and second one is its type. Addition to the type, we can observe here, addition to the type of the parameter, there will also we can provide a primary key attribute or foreign key attribute. Identity is auto increment keyword. Whichever to whichever field identity is applied with the data type, this will be the auto incremented. And we have to clear that this can only apply to the integer type data type for the auto increment. Similarly, on the similar way, this is the second field name, this is the third field name, and the last field name is the age, and the query parameter is closed with the semicolon. This is the query for the creation of the database. Okay, we have to use nide hms.dbo. The best practices use HMS use query, so that the entire queries later on will be execute on this database. Okay, let's start execution of this query. Just press F5. It says that the command is completed successfully. It says that the command is completed successfully, so that we can observe here the HMS database must have contained the tables that are created. Okay. Due to the shortage of memory, because other services are running on my laptop, the connection is getting lost. Okay, there is the HMS. Expanding the HMS, we can see here the tables. In tables, when we expand the tables object, here we can see that the dbo.doctor is available here. Okay, in dbo. If we expand the dbo.doctors, we can observe here the number of columns as we have typed here or provided here in the query. This is the doctor ID with the primary key not null. Why there is the not null? We have not write here the not null because all primary keys attribute is not null by default. First name, second name, these are basically maybe the last name, middle name and last name, and the age. We can see here our query is successfully run and the table is created successfully. The important thing is that to specify the data type and attribute name. These are the attribute names that are the also called user defined names. These names may be vary from one database to another database. As earlier I have said that this may be the ID, doctor ID, doc ID, F name, first name or name, S name, middle name, etc. And also their length may be the change. Also there may be the identity parameter change in some cases. If we want to start the identity parameter from the certain word from 2 with the increment value of the 5, this may be the same. Okay, for the time being we are removing this identity parameter. There is the complete description of the create table. We can also create number of tables with the help of this command. Now later on we will discuss how we can set the primary key attribute and how this primary key will be referenced to the other table in the database. Okay, now we are going to create an other table. We can say that this one may be the patient table. Okay, we write here use HMS so that the query will be executed on the HMS. For the save of time, I am just copying this entire schema and write here as the patient. There will be not error mistake, as we already discussed. This is the user defined identifier, so it may be any identifier valid with starting of the alphabet, not with the in between spaces, so that there will be the valid identifier. Okay, here we can say that the patient ID, and we can also say that the doctor ID. This one will be the int. What is this one? Why I have also introduced this one in the patient table? This is called the foreign key. Foreign key is a such type of key that exists in a child table and whose value will be matched whenever the record is entered in a child table. Its value will be matched from the parent table. Similar way we are assigning here, using here the first name, second name or the last name, int age for the patient. I am clearly saying about this structure will be varied or altered to understand the alter command of the database, alter table of the database, alter parameters or indexing in further sessions. For the time being we are creating the patient table. We have to make a reference to the doctor table. For this purpose we use foreign key keyword. Foreign key. What is foreign key? Here we have doctor ID. What is? Here we have doctor ID. Foreign key for doctor ID, that will use doctor ID. References. To what references? We say that HMS dot DBO dot doctor. here we have the doctor ID. We can see here certain kind of error. We have to just provide here the doctor table name, and it's here I have mistakenly why this is getting hard underline, means error is raising here. One reason is that we have to not use here semicolon. Other reason we have to see in the pop-up what is it saying. It is saying that what is saying it is saying that the foreign key doctor table is not available. HMS say here is the doctors, not the doctor table. We have to remove this. This is successfully done. Okay, just click check the entire, select the entire queries that we have to run, press execution button F5. Command is successfully executed. So we can observe that the HMS database will also contain the table patient. Okay, we have to connect this one again and refresh the object. Here we are going to expand the test HMS, expanding HMS tables. Here in tables we can view the patient table if query is successfully executed. Otherwise we will have to handle or trace the error, what is going wrong. Here is the patient. The other minute thing that we have to discuss here or observe here, what is the patient table is saying about. What the patient table is saying about. Here is the number of columns. This is the primary key and this is the foreign key. We can clearly see here, this is the patient ID is the primary key. Both are the keys, but the color and their theme is different. First one is the patient ID is the primary key, and second one doctor ID is the primary key. That can be the null. This will be set as the not null. This also to be set as the not null. Okay, how we can set it, we will work on this one later. Okay, now we are going to see the schema of these tables, schema diagram of these tables, how these tables are connected together. For this purpose we will go to the database diagrams, click on new diagram. Yes. Okay, we have to reduce the size of which table we want to introduce or include in this diagram. We say that add the doctors table and further add the patient table. Okay, this is add the patient table. This is getting some time to load the schema from the database. If we see here, the foreign key among these tables is established successfully. At that point I will like to explain the entire mechanism of creation of the table in the database. No more than the further practices will be added to the database data types in later on. But at that point I would like to clear that this is the primary key of there are the two tables. First one is the doctor table and second one is the patient table. In doctor table we can see here the doctor ID is the primary key. In patient table we can see here the patient ID is the primary key. And in the similar way, for the saving of time, or the approximately attributes are also the same. These attributes are same in both tables. The patient credentials, we can say that the credentials or personal information, first name, second name, and the age. I am again and again talking about that this will be the second name or the last name. And this the important point is to be focused here. Doctor ID is provided here in the second table. The second table, here we have this one. This is called the child table. This is also called dependent table, or which table that contains the foreign key. Doctor ID is a setup of ID or attribute in child table whose value will be each and every time matched with the doctor ID of its parent table. If we click on this table, If we click on this table, we can also, you can see here, change the attribute names or directly from here. We can also edit or delete the relation from here. Here is the properties of the relation of these two tables. We are going to reduce this general attribute. We can also right click on this relation to delete the relation between these tables. This is the entire session, today's session, in which we discuss how we can create multiple tables with multiple different attributes, having identity attribute, primary key attribute, and foreign key attribute. For that complete session, we go through the creation of two tables. First one is called patient table, doctor table, and second one is the patient table. Okay, then later on we assign the primary key and foreign keys in these both tables. Try to elaborate the system diagrams or system databases diagrams in which we show the how these two tables are interlinked using primary key and foreign key. Thanks for watching the entire session. If you like this session, please like and comment any kind of query regarding this session, and subscribe our channel for the latest update about the SQL Server Management Studio and SQL Server database schema structures from beginner to the advanced. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.